Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. The team tracks how Templar knights traveled to Viking territory and across the Atlantic. The Curse of Oak Island guys discovered symbols in Europe that connected the medieval Templar knights to the Vikings. They also found ancient runestones, which appear to be linked to the Oak Island money pit. Last night's episode saw Rick Lagina, Alex Lagina, Peter Fornetti, and Doug Crowell continuing their European adventure. They left Italy and the Netherlands behind to travel to the land of the Norse, otherwise known as Denmark, one of the Scandinavian countries where Vikings were prevalent. The guys and historical investigators believed they were following in the footsteps of the Templar Knights, who may have traveled in the 13th century from Jerusalem up through Europe and rendezvoused with the Vikings who helped take them to North America. The Knights were likely lugging ancient treasures taken from Solomon's temple, including the Ark of the Covenant and the Golden Menorah. Rick and the guys have visited multiple castles, dungeons, abbeys, and caverns along the way, and they've been spotting the same old Templar symbols that have also been seen in Nova Scotia. The Oak Island team finds an ancient carving that links Templar Knights and Vikings. In last night's episode, before leaving the Netherlands, the team visited Valkenburg Castle, where the Templars were imprisoned and persecuted. In the dungeon, the guys found symbols associated with the Templars, including the goose paw symbol, but they also spotted a Viking symbol, a carving that signifies the famous sails on a Viking ship. This was another clue that the two groups were linked. In Denmark, the guys visited a 12th century church where they found a collection of runestones featuring multiple symbols. Amazingly, Rick and the others soon recognized some symbols as similar to those found on the HO stone. Oak Island HO stone is similar to ancient Danish runestones. The HO stone was found in the money pit in 1894 at a depth of 90 feet, and its removal triggered a flood tunnel. The stone was subsequently lost in the early 20th century, but the guys still have photographs. The olive-colored stone appeared very similar to these Danish runestones in height, width, color, texture, and symbols. Could this be evidence that Vikings took one of their runestones to Oak Island? These stones were usually created for commemorative purposes, but could also be used to mark territory. The guys also visited a rock formation in Denmark that featured carvings dating back an incredible 3,000 years to the Bronze Age. Local expert Jean Cordua explained that the carvings were created in alignment with the stars and the sun. She suggested the rock formation was an ancient compass used for navigation. Did Templar Knights use Bronze Age technology to help reach Oak Island? On the stone formation, the guys spotted a symbol featuring a cross with 4 dots, a symbol they have seen in every location they visited and also found in Nova Scotia. The team had associated this symbol with the Templars, but here it was in a 3,000-year-old carving, long before Christianity existed. Expert Corjan Mole suggested this was likely the result of a cross-fertilization of cultures, where the Templars embraced an old technology used by the Vikings' ancestors. Meanwhile, Danish historian Ane Jepsenborg examined an old arrowhead found on Oak Island in the 1960s, and she confidently claimed it came from Denmark. She said the Vikings used the arrowhead from about 800 AD until the 13th century. This could be more evidence that something happened on Oak Island in the 1200s. The Oak Island guys often find more questions than answers, and this European trip sometimes felt like that. However, they certainly uncovered plenty of clues to suggest that the Templar Knights did team up with the Vikings, and maybe they transported a treasure to Oak Island. The Curse of Oak Island has captivated audiences for years with its tantalizing promise of hidden treasures and ancient secrets buried deep beneath the soil of a small island in Nova Scotia. But in this latest season, the team stumbles upon a theory so audacious and groundbreaking that it might rewrite history itself. The possibility that the Templar Knights, legendary for their mysterious and powerful order, traveled to Viking territory and then made their way across the Atlantic to Oak Island. It all began with an old map, unearthed in the dusty archives of a European monastery. The map, with its cryptic symbols and unfamiliar coastline, caught the eye of Rick and Marty Lagina, the passionate brothers leading the Oak Island quest. Unlike anything they had seen before, the map hinted at a secret route that the Templars might have used to flee persecution in the early 14th century. As the team delved deeper into this new lead, they found themselves piecing together a story that spanned continents and centuries. Templars, renowned for their martial prowess and immense wealth, had always been shrouded in mystery. Legends spoke of their vast treasures, hidden away from the prying eyes of the church and the crown. But where had they hidden it? And how did it end up on a small island off the coast of Canada? The key to this enigma lay in the connection between the Templars and the Vikings. The Vikings, master navigators and explorers, had reached the shores of North America centuries before Columbus. Their settlements in Greenland and Newfoundland were well documented, but their interactions with other cultures remained largely speculative. Could it be that the Templars, fleeing from the clutches of King Philip IV of France, had sought refuge with these Norse seafarers? The team turned to the historical records, scrutinizing every detail for clues. They found tantalizing hints in the sagas and chronicles of the Vikings, which spoke of strange visitors from the south. Men clad in armor, carrying banners emblazoned with the Red Cross. These accounts, though fragmentary, suggested that the Templars might have indeed sought the assistance of the Viking chieftains. To further this theory, the team examined archaeological evidence from Viking sites in Greenland and Newfoundland. Among the Norse artifacts, they discovered objects that seemed out of place: a Templar coin, a fragment of a sword with a distinctive cross-shaped hilt, and even a piece of chainmail that bore the unmistakable craftsmanship of the Templar armory. These discoveries, while still under scrutiny, lent weight to the idea that the Templars had not only interacted with the Vikings, but had also traveled with them. But how did they make the perilous journey across the Atlantic? The answer lay in the Viking longships, marvels of maritime engineering. These vessels, with their shallow drafts and sturdy construction, were capable of crossing vast ocean distances. The Templars, with their considerable resources and knowledge, could have easily secured passage on these ships. Together, Templars and Vikings might have navigated the treacherous waters, driven by the promise of safety and secrecy in the New World. On Oak Island, the team began to see their discoveries in a new light. The enigmatic carvings on the stones, the mysterious pits and tunnels, and the traces of medieval European presence, all pointed to a complex and deliberate effort to conceal something of great value. Could it be that the Templars had chosen this remote island as the final resting place for their legendary treasure? Theories abounded as the team explored this new avenue. They speculated that the Templars, skilled in engineering and subterfuge, had designed the island's intricate network of traps and tunnels to protect their hoard. The infamous Money Pit, with its layers of oak platforms and flooding tunnels, seemed too sophisticated to be the work of mere pirates or colonial settlers. Instead, it bore the hallmarks of a grand design, one that only an organization as powerful and secretive as the Templars could conceive. As the search continued, the team uncovered more evidence that supported their theory. They found medieval pottery shards, remnants of ancient structures, and even human remains that dated back to the era of the Templars. Each discovery brought them closer to unraveling the island's mysteries, but also deepened the enigma. The question was no longer just about the treasure, but about the very essence of the Templars' mission and their connection to the Vikings. In a climactic twist, the team unearthed an ancient manuscript hidden within the island's swamp. Written in a mix of Latin and Old Norse, the document seemed to be a diary of a Templar knight. It recounted their harrowing journey from Europe to Greenland, their alliance with the Viking chieftains, and their ultimate quest to find a safe haven for their sacred relics. Manuscript spoke of a land beyond the horizon, a place where they could rebuild and protect their order's legacy. The final pages of the diary were the most revealing. They described the construction of elaborate defenses on an island rich with resources and natural fortifications. The knight detailed their efforts to create traps and diversions, to ensure that only the worthy could find and protect their treasures. Aery ended abruptly with a cryptic note about a great danger that loomed, forcing the knights to abandon their work and leave the island. This discovery was a watershed moment for the team. Aery not only confirmed their theories but also provided a tangible link between the Templars and Oak Island. It was a testament to the ingenuity and determination of the Templars, and their willingness to go to extraordinary lengths to safeguard their legacy. As the season drew to a close, the team stood at the brink of a new frontier in their quest. The evidence they had gathered pointed to a connection between the Templars and the Vikings and their journey across the Atlantic. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, revealing a story of adventure, betrayal, and survival that spanned the ages. The Curse of Oak Island had always been about more than just treasure. It was about uncovering the truth behind one of history's greatest mysteries. And with this new theory, the team had taken a giant leap forward. The connection between the Templar Knights, the Vikings, and Oak Island was more than just a tantalizing possibility. It was a reality waiting to be fully explored. The adventure was far from over and the greatest discoveries still lay ahead.